When I was doing my PJ training, I wanted to buy these putters. I wanted to just have one in the bag. That's like a brand I was like, wow, they are impressive. And now I've got the opportunity to test them. Right, what better place than in the Italian, well, I'm gonna say hills, and these greens are stunning, right? I sound like I'm on Escape to the Sun or whatever program that is. But anyway, let's get into testing the brand new Toulon, yes, Toulon putters for 2025. And there are some bold claims. We've got 4 in the collection. They say soft in feel, soft in looks, soft in sound. Now these are all good, but when you've got big claims with anything, we hear it every year with brands, they've got to back it up. And yeah, I said these greens are Antagnola. That's my version. I've done a pretty good way of saying that. Just look how special this place is. So we're gonna put these fully to the test. First thing I would say, I do get a very, very premium vibe. Like, I don't know if that's because we've got this sort of black metallic shaft, which is definitely giving us that feel. Then if you have a look at the grip, there's a few grips here actually. You've got that style. Maybe it's that sort of blue, city blue, that. City. And then you've got this style. I actually really like these style grips. These are lambkin, and again with Toulon. They just have a very premium feel to them and look to them. And then you've got the slightly bigger one here, which I know is so favourable. Like, are you thinking, you look at a grip now and you would almost inadvertently go for a putter that has a thicker grip? Well, that one does, and you can obviously choose which one you want. Then if we just extend ourselves to the bottom here, I think, and please let me know what you think on this, my biggest pet hate with a head cover is when it's Velcro. It falls off, you lose it in 2 seconds, and it looks naff. Well, good job these don't have it. You've got nice magnetic head cover, so that premium look is extended into the head cover. That's the blade design. This is the more mallet shape, and again, very nice material and magnetic. Ooh, hello, look at that shape and that neck. I like these necks and I like these lines. So I want to really test this, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to test this. You see these reviews all the time. Test it from there, test it from there. No, I've got to test it from putts that I'm realistically, and more importantly, you realistically are going to face. So this is our medium range putt. Then we're going to do some hole outs. So those real close ones that are like, get our knees going, but we've got to hole it. And then the long ones, from the front to the back. That's how we're going to test them. There's one that I've got my eyes on in here, and we're going to look at that one in a second. But let's start with this blade. So remember, the story is soft in look, soft in feel, soft in sound. And you can hear that here, right? In fact, you can't hear it because there's no one around. It's beautiful here. So this is the first model we're going to look at. Oh, look at that little dot on top. So no sightline at the back, a little bit of the city blue, I'm going to call it. Now, they actually call it heritage blue. I'm going to call it city blue, but it's heritage blue. And they've actually added a little bit of white to the colour scheme. And a really nice touch, to be honest, a little bit of Italian racing red in there, which is noticeable here on the bottom, on the side, and on the head covers, and on the grips too. So yeah, very nice little subtle touches. Very minimalistic. And then to the bottom, this is called the Hollywood. You know what? That does look quite soft, doesn't it? Most putters on the sole of here, in terms of brands, they'll have everything going on, won't they? It's almost like their shop front. Wow, look at me. You don't get that. It's almost like, the way I describe this, you know, a bit like a Ferrari. You don't really see massive spoilers on them, do you? But you know it's a Ferrari. Doesn't need to have all the carbon and rubbish on it. It's a little bit like that. You know it's premium, you know it's good. Doesn't need to shout about it. Right, anyway, let's hit a putt. Let's try this. Is it soft? This is literally my first putt I've ever hit with a Toulon putter, which feels very special that I'm doing it here, and very special that I'm doing it with you. Here we go, everybody. This has some swing on it, by the way. That really encapsulates the ball beautifully down at address. The dot I like. What? Oh my God, that felt really pure off the face. So, I didn't even feel that. And the way I describe it is, you know when you get that one shot in a round where you hit out the middle and you're like, oh, that's what the middle feels like. You don't feel anything? That's what that felt like. And it sounded very muted, would be the word and the way I would describe that hit. Now, going into that sound in a little bit more detail, it's a lot to do with their updated face. Now, when I was reading this, and I can get on board with it actually, Toulon believe what they've done here is like the tread of a tyre, right? Now, the tread of a tyre for a car displaces water, so you stay on the road. Well, their new milled pattern, and you know what, it really feels rough, a lot rougher down this centre line than it does on the sole and the top. This disperses sound, so it gives you that more muted feel. And you know what, they say sound is a real overlooked part of building the feel of a putter. But if you think about it logically, I never thought of it like this until reading the spec. Whatever you hear is then whatever you sort of feel. Like if you throw a ball onto a wet piece of grass, you go, oh, it's soft. Whereas you throw it onto concrete, you immediately go, well, that sounds hard. Then it feels hard. It's a bit like with the ping, right? The ping, everybody goes, oh, that's a ping driver. And ping's reputation and sound came from actually their first few putters. They named it after the sound. So it has a bit to do with, or I would say actually I can get on board with, a lot to do with then what you feel. And when I tested the brand new Wilson drivers down at the driving range with Peter, a mid-handicapper and a subscriber, he said this, these were his words: I judge my confidence on a driver based on the sound. If I like the sound, I can get on board with it. Which, to be fair, I think I've really underestimated how much mid-handicap golfers think about sound. Right, oh, a Miami. Look at this. This looks like two different styles of materials, the same face. Wow, look at the neck and the look on this one. I'm not sure if I like the names. They don't really go with like the heritage vibe I'm sort of getting. The Miami sounds a bit young. Maybe we could call it something, I don't know. Let's think of an old name. Antoniola. No, that's really bad. That's why I'm not in product development, but the look of that and the name don't quite go in my opinion. But let's see, I'm interested now because two materials sometimes gives different acoustics. I remember testing competitor of this, which you'd probably say on the price bracket that this is going to be in, is the Scotty Cameron. You know, the Phantom range. That was two dual material. I know that was more insert based, but anytime you've got something strapped onto a different piece, it does, in my opinion, affect the acoustics. By the way, did anyone notice? I hold that first one and look at the thicker grip on this. I actually think that really suits it. Thicker grip is a little bit more favourable for me. Saying that, I did hold the first. The first thing that I would say with this model, and there are more than the ones I've got here, the sight line. Very, very good. Very, I would say, and have a look at this here. What I'm liking is this lovely straight edge at the top creates sort of a 90 degree to the white. And then you've got a slight contrast in the colours here, in that material. That's what you've got here. Even to the details where the thin lines of the mill goes in this direction, and then the sort of other lines oppose it, and it almost looks like two grains, as well as having this line. You've got the mini lines, then the white line, this. Yeah, I like what they've done there. That's a good job. And you'll notice the city blue, no, I'm joking, the heritage blue, the white, and the Italian red there. Little details, and that's available, oh, on all of them, I should say. Right, okay, here we go. It'd be amazing if I went 2 for 2. That neck, I quite like that, you know, that little neck. No, can't be 2 for 2. How hard is that putt? Look at it, it's off the side of a blooming mountain there. Wow, might have to go in the bag. That sounded different. It still sounded muted. I didn't get a feel that I'd hit a putt. I had no vibrations up the shaft, no vibrations into my hand, but it did sound different. Not as soft as my opinion in sound as the first one. And for me, part of that is due to the material. But on this length putt, I am 2 for 2. So we've tried the Hollywood, we've tried the Miami. Yeah, do you know what I mean about the names? Does anybody else get that same feeling? What have we got here? Boulevard or something coming up next? Boulevard. I wasn't far off. Oh, Las Vegas. Now this is interesting. Will this have a different sound? That neck is beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. And I like those sight lines straight away. I like dual sight lines. So you've got these wider ones, and then this one sort of focuses you in nicely on the golf ball. And I think an underestimated piece of this is how they've milled this area right here to give sort of an extra sight line in the opposing direction again. Right, I like this grip. I like the ridges in it. If I had a thin grip, that's what I would definitely go for. Definitely go for. Right, let's hit 2 more. One with this one with the next one. Now the last one was the one I was telling you about, the one I was really interested in, because this is, I think, I've not actually got it out here, and it's actually got the wrapper on that one. When I was at the pro shop at Stockport, I was looking at it going, I wish I had that in my bag, and I couldn't. Anyway, I can't possibly get this one in, can I? If I do, I don't know what. The one thing I would say, this feels lighter straight away in my hands. Whether that's the grip, it feels lighter. No. Oh, slightly overhit. That one felt exactly the same as the first. Soft and premium. It does feel soft, but the one thing I would say to you though, if I hear soft, and this is the thing that got me thinking, oh yes it is the one. The one thing that got me thinking with soft is, I always fear if you play slow greens, you're going to struggle to get to the hole. It feels soft, but it doesn't feel like glue off the face. So it doesn't feel like the ball's not coming off. Equally, it doesn't feel hot off the face. Because sometimes when you get a milled putter, look at that, take the wrapper off. And this is the Atlanta. This is the shape, look at that. That is honestly my favourite shape out of them all. I like to think I can use a blade, not good enough in my opinion, but this is a beauty. The neck style on the shaft, how there's no decals on it, again, really lovely touches. Maybe a sightline on there as well would be nice. That'll be a cool little addition, but equally, it's nice, very, very nice. And then here's the grip here. No sort of the racing red on there, but very subtle. Now, one of the things I would say when reading the specs for this year's putters from Toulon, it was all about the looks, the aesthetics. Fair play, they look good. They really do. And I've just noticed this little detail. Look at the back of that. Just noticed that there when I placed it down. Ooh, it's a nice little touch. Just going back to that fear of soft. I hate a putter, in my opinion, that feels soft off the face. And what I mean by I hate it, it doesn't feel like it comes off. It comes off just right, is how I describe it. And that's hard to do with a putter. I'm interested to try these longer putts. Right, okay, yes, come on. We can't go 3 out of 4, can we? Surely not. That just looks like a beaut, that. We have, I think. Break, ooh. 3 of them feel the same. 1 of them doesn't. Let's now head to the longer putt. We're gonna go to the end of that green, all the way to this flag. Let's go. First up, Atlanta. So this is gonna be a true test. Look at it going. It's all over the place, this putt. Down a swale, up and to the left. Atlanta up first. Then goes down, then goes up. Woo! What a putt from this distance, simmer now. Okay. That still felt quite muted. It still felt very soft. But look, I've still managed to get a great feel. It did feel louder as I went and hit that putt there, because obviously I've hit it harder. Next up, the Hollywood, the blade. In the past, the ones that I've struggled with a little more from distance. This looks good, you know. This has every chance. Oh! That would have been an absolute bomb to drop. It feels, I'm actually surprised, very surprised. I'm leaving this one to last, the Miami, because this is the one I think sounds very different to the rest. Right, that's some grouping by the way from this distance. Strokes gained wouldn't have us down as making a 2-putt very often. Up and around, and round, and round. Oh! How is it I feel I can stand here and nearly hole a putt? That pace control is impressive. That control of being able to start the ball at the right speed. 3 out of 3 there. I actually feel I've got a chance. I know realistically I don't, but wowzers. Right, now this is the one I'm interested in. This feels a bit more upright. It feels and sounds different in that sort of overall feel. I kind of think I've underhit that a little bit. Maybe I haven't. Oh, I thought I'd underhit that. Look at that grouping. Definitely different sounds from the Miami. Definitely. Now, the final piece of this puzzle, actually, this is great. Why don't we just use those putts? Said you can make 2 putts with all these. So this is the final bit. Everybody wants to know distance, must make putts, and hole outs. Out. I'm going to go with Miami first, since that was actually the closest, and actually the one I thought I'd under-hit. Impressive. These two actually felt like a hit off the heel, and usually when you do that, it skids a lot, and it didn't really skid. And when it skids too much, it will come up short. How do we feel in these short putts? Definitely a little more confident, and then that's the grip. Oh my God, that went down the side. I really need to concentrate a little more. Right, then, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I had this putter that we hit this one here with. The double sight line, I think, really comes into its own on shorter putts like this, because I could stand there, I wouldn't do it in this order. I'd just get my line, and then when I'm hitting a putt, I try and make that line, match that, and then these encapsulate the ball. So you've got a great way of, let me explain that. This shows you if you've got the ball in the center, but also equally easy to know if you're open or closed. Right. Imagine I make all four, 2 for 2 from that distance. That's 2 for 2. That's 2 for 2. Right, let's go. This one. This is probably the one that surprised me the most, the Hollywood, because it's a putter that I always look up to and go, you know what, I wish I could use this style one day. But it, in the nicest possible way, it doesn't react and feel like a blade. It feels a little bit more forgiving. And whether that's, again, the sound and the way they managed to do that, you definitely do get that feel from it. Right, this is the tough putt. Downhill left to right. This is a stinker. Stop it. Stop it. Alex. Part of me wants to say I could actually use that. It's a bold claim from me. It's a bold claim. Would I bin my L.A.B? Everyone knows I rave about it and how much I love the cappuccino colour. This colour though, don't get any glare. And I think that's a very important thing from a putter. 0 glare. Oh, 3 out of 4 is not bad. And the one other thing I'd add to this colour, I don't feel it's going to wear. Sometimes when you get these dark colours, the edges will wear, but I just don't feel like you're going to get that. And look at the Dark Speed irons of 2024. Everyone was like, they're going to wear, they're going to wear, they're going to wear. And guess what they did? They wore. They looked like they were old straight away. Anyway, right, overall verdict. My opinion on this is because you got this dual material sort of look here. These do have elements of the dual material, but far less so. My favourite, I don't believe I'm going to say this, it's probably going to be this. Like, it's not a putter that I would actually pick up and go, you know what, nice. Equally, the Hollywood is the same too. So overall, this is my favourite. I think it's the sight line and the neck. But let me just say one thing with this. The one thing that's disappointed me is the names. Now, the names mean nothing. The names just don't suit the style and the calibre of this putter. But overall, I think they've lived up to expectation. They've lived up to these claims. Thank you so much for joining me on the review of these putters. Maybe it's this golf course that's just bringing out the good in me. This whole golf course was voted best golf course in Italy 2020, 2022 and 2024. Thank you, Antoniola. And you for watching this video.